Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm Jesse, your DM.
Cody playing Lazarus.
Brennan playing Dis.
Mike playing Nim.
Britt playing Kenna.
And we are Double Doubles and Dragons. We're a group of goofy Canadians that have gotten together to play a little D&D. Sometimes we will say things that are inoffensive. We mean them as jokes, of course, and they're certainly funny to us, but some people may find this offensive. If you do, we apologize, but we don't want any hate mail about it. So just don't listen, okay? Let's jump right into the action. Okay, so welcome back, everybody. We've got a couple things to go over before we get started. We're going to start with the really important stuff. We'll start with the EXP. So you defeated a giant tornado of air.
We did.
And you finished a quest.
Heck yeah.
How fantastic is that?
Pretty fantastic.
I feel like
multiple
it's-
ranks.
I feel like Maverick's going to come back in the future.
Now.
I feel like
Don't get
he's-
suspicious.
I feel like he's going to be less fantastic than we think.
Fantastic.
I think,
Well, towards you, maybe.
I think we'll go with about 800 XP per person today.
Why towards me?
You're the one that he was mad at.
Why was he mad at me?
Because you didn't shift on the ground and he had to come out and heal you.
Oh, right.
Are we at 27.6?
Thanks, guys.
Next thing to cover off is, before we do our quick recap of what happened last time, because this will kind of bleed into that, right now for inspiration, Nim is inspired, and so is Kenna, but Lazarus and Dis both had to use their inspiration last session.
Yep.
But do either of them feel like they've done something worthy of earning that inspiration back last
I
session?
did get sucked up to a tornado.
Yeah. And he tried to
I
save
tried to
me.
save him.
He did save me.
I tried to save him.
I didn't fly up.
I tried to catch him.
He lizard-tailed around.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like maybe we'll keep to the kind of standard of the inspiration's an RP reward to help you in combat rather than a combat reward to help you in combat. Just because it is meant to be, did you RP your character even when playing your character the way your character needed to be played could have detrimented the party, or maybe even did?
I went to save him. I was
That is
safe.
unusual.
Wait.
Whoa!
I am helping out the
Whoa.
party at all times.
Kinda just calling Dis out
Just
before
some
we even
shade
get
out of nowhere.
started.
I'm sorry,
it's
but the
fine.
only person who tries to save people here is generally not you.
Oh, it is me all the time.
Wait, are you
saves
suggesting that
people with
no
damage.
other character here
No,
has
everyone.
saving capabilities?
Every character has saving capabilities. I'm just saying that two people in the party heal.
I
Oh,
save
boy.
people with
Oh,
my
boy.
other actions.
Yeah, and there's two people in the party who just try really hard not to get hit, so...
Try to kill the thing that's killing them before it kills them.
Oh, some of us do
That's
that
the
too.
game plan. I think maybe we'll leave it at this session just for this one. But I mean, obviously, if you do
was trying,
something in the middle of this session, I'm not opposed to giving it to you. So I will definitely be watching out for that as always. So with that in mind, I guess we'll do a quick recap of what happened last session. So you guys had a little bit of problems at the ruins. Somebody, I'm not going to name names or point fingers, but somebody picked up a rock they probably shouldn't have. And it summoned a thing that Dis just immediately points. Who's that guy over there? Lazarus, the big
Usually
lizard.
Big
Well, that's good. That's good to know. You don't even need a bribe to turn your fellow players in. That might come in handy later.
Inspiration worthy.
Inspiration worthy turn in.
I was thinking the same thing.
But yeah, you picked up a rock maybe you shouldn't have and summoned a big windy thing that maybe you shouldn't have either. But nevertheless, put it back down, went and got Kenna, learned a little bit of stuff, went back, defeated a big windy thing. So I mean, like, there's some benefit to that. Also, found a bit of a strange altar-y looking thing under a really big rock that took maybe longer than it should have to move, but at least it wasn't a stair boss. And you found a jar with a wind elemental of some kind in it. He's a cute little guy, keeps glaring at you though. Definitely doesn't like being in the jar. But you went back to town, dropped the jar off, still waiting to hear what they can maybe give you for that. You've turned in your paper, they can start building the church, and that seems to be kind of the general agreed point that everybody's good with, so they gave you that signing paper. But who was it that went to go get the signing paper? It was Nim, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah? But Nim found an old friend out by the well after he had gotten the signed paper. A certain army sergeant who may or may not have met the party already during their trial and doesn't seem to think much of you overall. But nevertheless, Nim is leading him back to the tavern where I believe everybody else was going to get ready to get drunk.
Well, that's about to be started changing.
Well, we'll have to see about that. Is there anything that anybody wants to draw special attention to that I maybe glossed over that they want to remind the party of?
Chainmail guy.
I think we're still in possession, or Kenna's still in possession of the wind elemental, because Lil
In the
hasn't-
jar, yes.
Lil hasn't come back with the price yet.
There is one thing that I felt like I should probably mention is that we once again did not look for a portal stone.
We didn't shut a portal, though.
There was the beginnings of one. Maybe there might have been something. The thing that pops out after we close them, that we have to return to Lil for the reward.
Oh, you missed on the very first one. But to be fair, Nim had his magic vision on when you were looking at the altar, and when he went back outside, he didn't see the remains of a portal
No, but
still
we
there
didn't
close.
we didn't mention one though. So I'll
No.
bring it up that we did semi-forget.
Yeah.
So did I clearly.
I think, I feel like Dis had an event in the battle that maybe he shouldn't forget. So something happened with something pretty important to Dis.
I know.
Is it my blades?
Yeah.
Well, those are
Hitting
pretty
the ground
important to you.
and things dying around it.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right. I feel like that's maybe
Literally the god of death over here.
important for Dis to remember.
I will be addressed as God from now on.
Oh,
Well, that sounds
or
like
G.
Dis.
1d4 necrotic damage on a dagger does not make you a god.
I mean,
did
let's be
make
fair.
58.
It killed blades of grass. I'm not even sure that's a solid 1 damage. Let's not get ahead of
I
ourselves
didn't mean offense
here.
by it.
Hey, a d4 ain't really buffing damage that much even, so...
Not at the level you guys are at, anyway.
What are you talking about? I get hit for like 4 more damage. That's crazy.
So
It's like 4 commoners.
Jesus.
I mean. So I think maybe what we'll do is, since Nim ended the session with talking to Sargent Strain, and he was on his way back to the tavern, but he's been gone for, 10, 20 minutes or so. So I think maybe we'll start back and we'll just see how far the rest of the party got into that time to get drunks phase of the game, before Sargent Strain shows up. We'll maybe just see how that goes.
Well, we needed to eat.
Yeah,
Yes,
we were
food
getting
was being
food.
brought to you as well.
Yeah.
We were getting food in a pint.
Yeah, and a pint each.
Yeah, I left as I put in my food order, right?
Yes.
And then,
Yeah, because you were like, whatever, I'll just go find
Father Max.
Father Maxie, and I'll get the paper, and I'll be right back.
Yep. And then...
Yeah. So I think we'll pick it up with Lazarus, Dis, and Kenna in the bar. You've been waiting for about 5 minutes. Lil's pretty fast. Lil comes back with your pint and your food, and she's just very politely says, I'm still looking into how much for the wind elemental in the jar, so I'll be back with that. For now, go ahead and eat, and let me know if you need anything else.
Lil, I had a question.
It's certainly.
After this is resolved, I mean, our quests are going to be complete. What should we do then?
Well, I had put in a request to see what other quests would be available for you, but I was told at the moment that things were on hold. Your case is being reviewed.
What?
So, they didn't really tell me how long it was going to take, but I don't expect long.
What do you mean review? Like, they found out we were like 10 times more amazing than they thought. I assume.
Dis, I don't know if you could be 10 times more amazing than I think you are.
Oh, why thank you.
She gives you like the playful wink, and then she's just kind of like shakes her head from side to side, no, a little.
So there was no quest available?
Not that there's no quests available, just none that I can give you at the moment. But I don't expect the review to last long. It's usually a fairly speed. It usually just means they're sending somebody out to meet you.
What kind of person would they send?
Honestly, it depends on why they want to see you. I'm not usually warned ahead of time. Most of the interviews, reviews, and that sort of thing, they do kind of want to catch you without any time to, plan what you're going to say. They kind of want your honest answers and opinions on things usually.
Thank you for the info.
Oh, not at all. I'll go take a look and see what I can get you for the windy thing in the jar. And I'll be back.
Thank you, Lil.
Thanks, Lil.
So yeah, she leaves you at the table. The bar is quiet. It's not quite picked up too much yet. And the bard that you had seen there the other day hasn't reappeared yet, although it's pretty early in the day still.
So,
Sit.
So,
That's,
something on your mind, Master Dis.
do we get served already?
Yes, you do have dinner already.
And the pint?
Yes, and the pint.
Pint each. Just drink slowly.
Just like
Between.
starts a super awkward conversation, and then when everybody's like, "What's up, Dis?" Just takes slow drinks.
Absolutely fascinating.
It never ceases to amaze me in D&D how, like, a party can go from being super talkative at the end of one session to the very next session acting like it's the first time they've met each other at, like, a high school house party. Like, so...
I'll put down the drink slowly. Chainmail guy.
There's no chainmail guy.
There's definitely a chainmail guy. I saw him.
Oh my gosh, you need to get off of this chainmail guy.
No, I'm saying he could be dangerous. He could be out there.
You could be
setting a
dangerous.
trap. For him, yeah.
We could be setting a trap.
For him, yeah.
He could be 17 ranks above us. Just kidding, there's not that many ranks.
No, there's gonna be no ranks above us pretty soon.
Okay, I think if anything, we might get bumped up like 2 levels at most.
Maybe 5, 10.
You are setting your expectations too high.
I'm optimistic.
I mean, which is great, and I'm a very optimistic person, but, you know, I'm also real. There's a difference between optimism and foolishness.
Food's awfully nice.
I feel like I walked that line.
I know, Lil is definitely a good cook. You walk the line.
I walked
you
that
keep
line
a-
perfectly.
Close watch on that heart of mine. Keep your eyes wide open all the time.
You know, I would, but that unnatural well of light is so bright. Sometimes
There's
I can't
no
look.
unnatural light up here. You love it.
Oh yeah, no,
Or
it's
wherever
really,
we are.
it's
I don't
really
know.
nice out here, but most of my life I've lived under that, ball of death out there.
It's not a ball of death.
Do you hear back in the old times they didn't have that?
I just drink my beer.
Kenna has officially given up.
At least he's not talking about planting bread.
Oh yeah.
That's not a thing that's happened in this world.
I know.
Thank God.
Thank God.
Thank God.
He killed himself because he didn't want to talk about planting bread.
Well, who was expecting a column of wind when we woke up this morning?
Nope.
Not me.
Certainly an interesting day.
Hopefully our next quest isn't as interesting.
I mean, I'm
That
just like
is all for it at this rate.
just saying that they're probably just going to get harder from here.
Well, yeah, but as long as we're getting commendation for it. Like, I don't care about this compensation we're getting. I care about straight-up commendations. Like, this party moves up. There's gotta be a ranking board.
Gosh, you're obsessed with ranks. Do you just like sleep ranks?
I don't really sleep, but
Right.
I dance.
Do you meditate about ranks?
Dance. I don't really meditate either. Well,
He's supposed
I
to.
do.
But he's supposed to, but he's just so footloose.
I
Just
worked
can't
meditation
stop.
more my life into my dance.
Oh my gosh. Dancing is my meditation.
Clears my mind.
Well, then could you actually do that for your 4 hours of light activity if you're meditating? Because then you're 8 hours deep into meditation.
Oh, you know it.
Whatever.
I feel like there's no better time than that for the doors to the inn just not kick open, but they're pushed over firmly. And kind of as your eye is naturally drawn to that commotion, you just see Nim kind of like walk in, and then Sargent Strain walks in after him, gives the room like one quick look, and he goes, "Fucking figures. Doing nothing but drinking, Dane, even over yet."
Probably have the mug up to my head when I turn.
Hi, Sargent Strain.
He kind of like looks, gives you a nod, pulls up a chair, like left Nim at the door. Pulls up a chair, sits it down at your table, but like flips it the wrong way.
Yeah.
Just sits down and goes, "All right. So I hear you think you've been doing a pretty good fucking job."
Oh, you know it.
He
Confident as always, Master Dis.
just leans back, give you one quest to gather fucking shit, and another to go get little fucking rocks. And that's about the extent of your abilities, Dis.
That didn't even scratch the surface.
I want to show him our wind in a jar. Look what we got!
Guy looks over. He's just like, the fuck is that?
Oh, you should have seen it out there.
That's your prize kill? A wind elemental that's a foot tall?
Oh, it wasn't. It was a lot bigger before.
Yeah, it's just like shrunk now.
Oh yeah? I didn't realize any of you maggots had magic for containment.
We're just a bundle of surprises.
Roll deception.
I'm like, I can't even because I will fail.
Well, that was
Not
close.
gonna have
Inspiration! I think he should get it for his extreme optimism.
14.
I agree, but only after the roll. I'll give Dis. I gotta admit, he's playing Dis.
I'm gonna be the best.
This
Right,
guy
Dis,
over
you
here.
have your inspiration.
But I can't use it.
But you can't use it for this one. He just like immediately just locks eyes with you and he just goes, "You fucking found it somewhere, didn't you?"
The jar, the elemental, we fought that thing when it was big.
But the elemental in the jar. You fucking dickheads just walked upon it somewhere, didn't you?
After we beat it down into the jar.
He's kind of like you can tell he's just not impressed. He's just all the emotions gone out of his face. He's like, well, against my better judgment and recommendation to the higher ups, seems you pieces of shit are up for a promotion. I bet you like that, don't you? I bet that gets your willies a wagging.
I don't have a willy.
Or whatever the other equivalent is.
Nim just like slowly puts his hand out,
Oh god, no.
and he's looking at Sargent Strain like right in the eyes. Like,
Yeah?
if we get a promotion, is there like a library rung involved?
You don't even want to know what rank you have the chance to be promoted to?
I would
Is
love...
it bookkeeper?
Is it the top one?
I would love to know the rank that we might get promoted to. You gotta understand here for Nim, books are everything.
Nim, I may not have made this clear when you enlisted, but if you want to go be a fucking librarian, you can do that at any time.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Perhaps we have just lost our wizard.
Yeah.
Well, maybe librarian is a bit too much of a stretch. You're a little short for the quality of books we have here. I imagine we could start you as floor sweep, somewhere in the basement.
If it doesn't involve reading the books, I probably don't want the job.
But you're not allowed to read the books, Nim. Those are prized collections of the Stronghold. Only people that deserve to read them get to read them.
Then I want to work to deserve to read those books.
It's important to have a goal, son.
Shoot for the stars, I say.
Even if he makes you land... Or no, shoot for the moon. That's what the purpose.
All right. Well, don't get your panties in too much of a twist. You gotta remember the rules. If you're gonna jump rank, you know what happens if you fail.
We are screwed.
You stay as copper bitches forever, and I couldn't be happier. Oh, and by the way, I'll be the one administering the test.
Wonderful. This is great.
But, that being said, I have been authorized, if you pass my test, to promote you to Iron. You'll jump 10.
Shit.
I told you I was right. I called that shit. On the dot.
Yeah, we weren't really... We're above 10, obviously.
We're not right now. We're copper.
Oh, in pure potential.
Oh, I think we're higher than that.
Oh no, we're at the top. New ranks will be created. I am saying this out loud.
I assumed you were. He's just, the whole time, Sargent Strain is just, you guys aren't even worth the shit you're standing on. Or the shit you bought. Not until you prove you're ready. But, I do need a verbal confirmation, yes sir, that you are ready to accept the next challenge.
Do we get to know the challenge first?
No. Do you get to know the challenges of life before they sneak up on you? Or they hit you from behind with an iron pan and run off with your money?
That sounds personal.
Never mind that.
If we were to say yes, when does the challenge begin?
Almost immediately.
Oh no.
Can you give us 10 minutes to finish our lunch, please?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize I had interrupted the babies during snack time. If you want, I can go chat to Lil. And then I can come back in a couple of days.
Never mind. Yes, Sargent Strain.
How long will this challenge probably take?
Well, that depends on how much you suck. Shouldn't be long at all for somebody that knows what they're fucking doing.
How are our reserves?
Badass.
Like 50%.
Oh.
Lazarus has 2 stocks left.
I have 2 level 3s, 1 level 2, 3 level 1s.
1 level 3, all my level 2s and all my level 1s.
I've got a level 1 and a level 2. So I have less utility, but you guys are still good.
Well, I mean,
And I have no portents, just so you know.
I don't think I have fairy fire.
No, I don't. You used it.
Or do we have a long rest?
No, you've used it.
Yeah,
You used it.
I haven't used
I also have 1 shapeshift right now.
Well, what'll it be?
Of course we'll accept.
Yes, sir.
Sir, yes, sir!
Yes, sir.
Sir, yes, sir!
It's like, man, Nim got like
Puberty.
bogus lung capacity there for a second.
I feel like he was just like prestidigitating in his voice.
Yeah, probably. that lines up. actually.
Minor illusion, because minor illusion, you can just like, it's only somatic and component, so you don't have to talk. So I could project it through my vocal cords.
All right. So, you accept. Good. I honestly didn't think you would. Kind of look like a bunch of chickens to me, but who am I to judge if you want to throw your lives away? All right, take this. And he tosses a little rock to Dis. So, Dis, if you take a look at the rock, just a casual inspection is fine to begin with, I suppose. So just give it a perception check.
16.
Okay. The little rock that he's tossed you is almost entirely black. It's like a little stone pebble almost, but about an inch or so big and wide. But outside of the general blackness of it, there are streaks of a faint green color. But where that faint green color touches, you almost feel like you can see through the rock, but not quite. It gives a very strange optical illusion. We'll just give them a second to write that down. Since they don't trust me anymore, to just give them little random tips that don't mean anything.
Because we know that is horseshit.
That's true. I guess you could just listen back to it now, couldn't
that's
you?
why I'm not writing.
That's why I don't write anymore.
Big cheaters.
Not cheating.
If I have to edit the recording.
Yeah, you may as well listen to it. All right. That little bit of rock you got. You're going to go looking for something that looks a lot like it, but bigger. Somewhere out to the south. Roughly south from here. You'll have to find your way. There's a circle of stones that look a lot like that rock. Inside that circle of stones, someone's built a fence. On the other side of that fence, someone's built a house. And there are several things guarding that house. And inside that house, something I want you to get for me. Now, here's the tricky part. You are not allowed in any way to engage with the guards at this place. If you engage them in combat, or they spot and engage you in combat, you will fail this test.
Well, Lazarus is out.
Might need to take a little short rest, everybody.
Now,
Is there a time frame on?
getting to that. So, here's the deal overall. You go there, you find a way into the house without causing the guards to attack you, or you to attack them. I will note, if you choose to in some way try to bluster your way past the guards, that may be acceptable. but there is bonus points for not engaging them at all. Any moron can go fight things. I've got hundreds and hundreds of people that can just go fight and die for something. But it takes somebody that knows what they're doing to get in and out of somewhere without being seen. Those are worth promoting. So, you go to the house, you find out what's inside, you bring it back to me, and you tell me what you've learned. And, as long as I'm happy with what you come back to me with, then you'll be promoted. And we can talk about what that means when you actually do it. He kind of gives you that smile, like he doesn't buy that that's happening at all.
Is there anything specific you want from inside, or is it our choice?
You're there to get me what's inside the house. It'll be pretty obvious.
All right.
Well, it'll be pretty obvious if you're not morons.
Is that that's all right?
And time frame on completion?
Ah, yes. So rough as I can remember it from here, seem to recall it took about a half a day to get there last I remember. So I think it's pretty fair to say, let's see, it's about 4 p.m. now. I'll give you till midnight tomorrow.
Well, we have some walking ahead.
Is that till midnight tomorrow to return to you with the item from inside?
To return to me with what you've learned.
And you'll be here?
That's right.
Okay.
I'll be right here, just enjoying some of Lil's fabulous cooking.
It is real good cooking.
Well, Surf and Turf, sounds like we've got a quest for right now. Better put those beers down.
Let's go get promoted.
Well, at least it was the first.
All right, well, that's all I'm prepared to give you. Good luck finding the circle. Good luck doing what you need to once you find it.
Thanks, Sargent Strain.
All right, I'll be here if you need me. And he just kind of leans back from the chair a little bit and just really seems to have just dismissed you. He's just going to take the table. You're done.
We're all just well, pick up our shit.
I need to run upstairs and grab my bedroll.
Lazarus shall grab his belt.
What time is it right now?
About 4 o'clock. That's what Sargent Strain told you.
Oh, sorry, 4 p.m.
And then we gotta skedaddle.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
Because even if we leave, we're expected to arrive around 4 a.m.
Yeah.
So he estimated it took about a half a day.
So that's 12.
So that's if you know where it is.
Mhm.
He just said it's somewhere to the south of here.
Roughly.
But I think we have a leg up because we might have transportation.
Only once.
Yeah, well, that's
We
better
need
than
pass
nothing.
without trace when we're there to make sure we know it's
Do
lost.
we think it's worthwhile to ask Lil or anybody else more?
You know, we could try to.
You do have a sample of the stone, so at least you know what to ask about.
Yeah, let's go.
Or if
ask
there's
Lil.
anything else you can do with the stone.
I am still holding.
You know what? We're probably not doing anything else today. I'm just going to cast Detect Magic, and I want to look at the stone.
Okay.
I'll hand over the stone.
All right. So your eyes cloud over with that silver. Couple of things you notice. So first of all, you're looking right at the stone. There is a faint magicness to it. It's actually very unique. It's kind of like that passive magic that you feel everywhere in this in the Stronghold is more focused in the stone. It's the same type, but it's stronger. And there's a slightly different, I don't want to say flavor, but it's fresher almost. It's definitely from here. You're not sure if that would necessarily give you enough to assist you in finding it or anything like that, but it is noticeable. You can tell the difference between it and the things around it. The next thing that you notice as you turn on your Detect Magic is that Sargent Strain is putting out a lot of magic off of his armor. It is heavily enchanted.
I'll try not to. I'll look at it, but I don't want to focus on it. I don't want to analyze his armor. I want to just be like, oh,
You do notice, like, he's watching kind of the table, and when your eyes glaze over that silver, he does kind of raise an eyebrow, and then when you kind of do the, like, brief look at him and, like, look away, like you're kind of trying not to look, you just, like, for those of you that watch, he just kind of grins. He just nods.
Yeah.
If I do an Arcana check, can I determine what kind of magic is on the stone, or...?
Yeah, go ahead.
22.
It's, the more you look at it, the more you come to realize, like, it kind of feels like a little bit of enchantment, and it kind of feels like a little bit of illusion, but it's more raw than that. Like, it doesn't feel like it's a magic that's being cast, it's just a magic that exists in the stone. It's kind of like raw energy almost.
Okay.
You do get the feeling it's very air related. Like, you really do get the feeling from it that it's very elemental air. You kind of get the same feeling off of the elemental in the jar. There's a little bit of magic around the jar, as you might imagine, for containing it, which is obviously not. It is more of an enchantment magic, but like the elemental itself is kind of made of the same stuff, or at least it feels like it's similar.
I'll pass that along to everyone.
Okay.
Should we ask Lil?
We need to figure out about the jar too from there. How much we're going to get. Or just a way to place it somewhere.
Yeah, we can put it in our safekeeping, probably.
Hey, Lil.
Just a second. There's kind of like, there's like a brief pause. And she comes wandering back out. Can I help you with anything?
Yeah, we got 2 questions for you.
And like, as she kind of comes up, she goes, "Oh, hello, Sargent Strain. I didn't realize you were already here. I'll get you something in a minute, dear. But, sorry, what was the question?"
Could you hold on to this air elemental until we figure out how much it's worth?
Actually, I had meant to come talk to you about that. I don't have a good way of containing it. However, once Sargent Strain had found out what was going on, he let me know through his ring that he would be willing to take it off of your hands.
Okay. Is Sergeant Strain still right there?
He's just still sitting there.
Sergeant, how much is the elemental worth, then?
Oh, I wasn't planning on paying you for it. Once you get your reward from Lil, I can just take it off your hands so you don't blow yourselves up carrying it around.
All right. I
What's
guess
the
that's
reward
okay.
from Lil?
Sorry, I did forget to mention, so I looked it up, and I can give you 150 gold.
Alrighty.
Insight? Go ahead.
It's like, gotta check this once.
Don't trust Lil, man.
We're getting serious about money here. What was my insight again? 22.
Nim's getting serious about books. Dis is getting serious about money.
Need money to get to the higher ranks.
That's right.
Somehow.
You
I don't know why.
need wealth to prove to people that
He's the
you're worth it.
messenger.
That's right.
He
I'm
knows
gonna be
how
the
to
richest
distribute
drow, too.
wealth.
That's a great lesson to just put out there. Remember, kids, you're not worth shit if you don't have money. Like, oops, never mind.
I'm gonna be the richest, famous drow. I'm gonna be the Hollywood drow.
Famousest drow.
I'm gonna start drow Hollywood.
So yeah, Lil just hands you the 150 gold. She's got a small pouch with enough of it in it.
Into the communal fund.
Yes.
Sorry, was there anything else?
This stone. I point at the stone in Nim's hands.
Oh, right, because Nim has it now.
Would you, we heard there was some of this about half a day south from here. Do you know any more specific directions, or have you seen this before?
She kind of like, she looks from you to Sargent Strain,
Lazarus probably got a grin.
and Sargent Strain just kind of like raises an eyebrow, and he's like, "Well, I guess asking for help technically isn't against the rules." Lil's just kind of like, "All right, well, there is a circle made of stones like that. It is about a half a day south of here. I wouldn't go straight south, though. You'll miss it quite easily doing that, actually. If you draw an invisible line from my inn to the well, if you just keep going that direction, so it's really more of a southwest than directly south, and follow that for half a day. You should be about there. If you just went straight south, you'd be way off.
Insight.
Sure, go ahead and insight.
24.
So you're not sure at first because there was so much of that like eye contact between her and the sergeant. But when the sergeant, like when she's like, "Oh yeah, you'd miss it by a mile if you went straight south," the sergeant like giggles, like just kind of, and you get the feeling that that's probably pretty true. Like he definitely was just trying to send you the wrong direction. Well, not technically the wrong direction. He did say south.
And then he said, well, selfish.
Yeah.
And I was like, immediately suspicious.
And I guess, Lil, is there anything else you could tell us about this Circle of Stones?
Not much outside of that. I'm not sure what trial Sargent Strain has given you. Each person that's allowed to give a trial to a lower ranked person trying to jump is free to design the challenge however they like. The last time I was out there, it was just a circle of stones.
All right.
Thank you, Lil.
You're welcome.
Well, I think it's best that we make haste.
Let's go.
This is going to be a long night.
Yeah, I'm gonna go up and grab my shit like the bedroll and stuff. So.
Okay. Yeah, I imagine. I think everybody wanted to grab something from their room.
I carry most of my stuff with me, so
Well, but you're a gnome. You don't have that much stuff.
my bedroll's tiny. So.
Yeah, it's like, hey guys, have you seen my bedroll? And it's like a towel.
We had it in my pocket, sorry.
It's a handkerchief.
I had a large, bear pelt? Was what I had?
Yeah, you Lazarus in his Ant Queen armor with his Ant Queen carapace shield, and then his bear that he uses for his bedroll.
It was the only thing big enough.
He's an intimidating man, beast, dragon thing.
Hey man, he's a nature paladin. It works.
The naturist of paladins. All right, as you guys are kind of heading out the door, Lil just gives you a quick good luck.
Thanks, Lil.
Thank you.
Please don't get me fired.
We'll try not
Well,
to.
no.
Oh yeah, I forgot she has a huge stake in this as well.
Yes, she does. Yeah, probably a good thing to keep in mind.
Yeah, that's why I was like, we should just ask
Kill
Will.
them all. There's nobody to report back.
I feel like, so what, Dis literally gets like a minute out of town and it's just like, so if we kill all the guards.
We're not killing any guards.
I wasn't saying that. Dude.
We're gonna be in big trouble if we do that.
Well,
We can be sneaky.
obviously, there's a way to get in without raising the alarm. So
Kenna turns into a mouse. Kenna gets the thing. Kenna turns back into a mouse and runs out.
Or we pass stuff, Trace.
Men can also go invisible, as well as other things.
That's another
Unless they're
thing.
detecting magic, and then you guys are screwed.
Unfortunately,
I
Lazarus
guess-
cannot think of much of a single way to help with this.
well, what we could do is we could make.
We're
Kenna-
saying this as we're walking.
I assume so. I fully, are you riding?
I guess. Well, we
At
still
the
have to go
moment,
from
walking.
the inn to find that one.
Yeah, we'll discuss what our mode of transportation is
Get-
while we're.
Given Kenna's like static survival roll, like as
Sure.
bad as she can roll, I'm pretty sure you're capable of navigating the directions you've been given. So
Nice.
I have no problem with that. I just assume that you're either riding or walking, whichever.
Yeah, we only have one ride we can do. We only have a slot for one ride.
But do we want to save that for a pass without trace?
Is the plan then that you're going to travel all night and not long rest as well?
Remember, if they're on the lookout,
I think we should long rest.
I think we should get there then long rest.
Well, get like within
Close.
an hour or so of there.
Like when you can see it on the horizon,
Yeah.
sort of thing?
I'd say we get close enough that we can actually see the guards. Because I want to be able to gather intel while we're long resting.
That's fair. We could do that.
Because we don't really have enough time to not gather
Okay.
intel while we're long
But
resting.
we also can't even get spotted.
yeah, we have to make
Fail.
sure there's no patrols or anything.
We have to be very
Yeah, we'll have to be careful. So that's where I'm thinking we maybe save the pass for without trace until we get there.
Or do we just ride there hard, fast, and then long rest, and then wake up in like the early afternoon and do the day of scouting and
We
do it at
can't
night?
ride that far.
Wake up in
I
the
only
early
have one.
afternoon.
Yeah, so we only get an hour of riding, which saves us.
I mean, I can shapeshift into something and make it go faster so he's not slowing us down.
Mm.
But that's about it. I can pass without traces.
We could move at like an accelerated pace too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
you can't
for-
just
for an
run
hour.
all night.
For an hour, we can run for even a couple hours.
Without exhaustion?
Yeah.
Yeah, exhaustion only really... It's been a while since I looked at that rule, but I think exhaustion more kicks in if you do like a forced march than just we decided to travel at like an accelerated pace for 8 hours. It just means you can't be stealthy while you're doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Or I think it affects the stealth roll, but we don't usually roll stealth when you guys are traveling over large distances anyway. It's more of a luck thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll just affect the DC.
Yeah, I think it's if you try to travel more than 8 hours in a day.
Yeah, sorry. Actually, I have it right here because I can't read. If you travel at a fast pace per hour, you can cover 4 miles. Per day, you can cover 30 miles. But you get a -5 penalty to passive wisdom perception scores, and you can't stealth.
Well, I think we do that until
Run
we
for a
figure
bit.
we're about an hour out, and then drop back to the normal
So-
slow pace.
We don't want me to summon animals to ride on?
I think we want to have your pass without trace available.
Pass without trace is a 2, though. And I have...
Are you sure? The pass was 3.
No.
Or it's 2?
I should say the fast pace adds about an increased fourth of the distance. So if they told you it was going to take half a day, if you're,
Take 3/4.
yeah, it would take, or it'd take 3/4 of that time. Yeah. So you're looking at like,
9 hours instead.
yeah, 9 hours instead of 12, basically.
So we get there at like 1 a.m.
Yeah, about
That's enough
that.
to sleep.
So if we ride for an hour, then travel
It's
at a
gonna be
fast
dark.
pace.
We're going to be traveling at a fast pace at night, and we could have encounters too. So.
You could.
Also need to...
Because the guards still have to go somewhere while they're, it's night. Some of them will rotate off or something, I would assume.
Yeah.
So if we're in the
Nighttime
path-
might even be your best bet.
Yeah.
You sleep the night away, you might lose that.
Yeah, that's what
Because
I kinda
if
wanna-
you get there at 1 and you long rest, that's 8 hours. That takes you to at least 9 o'clock in the morning, which gives you 3 hours to finish your job, and then you better be on your way back.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you may, as long as you don't fight or anything like that, you'll have lots of spells then to help you get back
You can.
fast.
Can you maintain concentration and form?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Well,
you
she
could
does
pass
it
without
first.
trace, take me along, go like critter,
Mhm.
and then I'm rolling like whatever on my stealth really high.
Like 48s or whatever.
Well, my
whatever
thought
works out
was
for
that
you.
we do what we did when we left the original camp we were at. I mouse into your pocket. You
Mm-hmm.
super stealth.
Could even have like an invis on top of that.
Yeah.
Then.
Yeah.
And that way we also have both me and you like being able to communicate and try to
Exactly.
figure out inside what we want.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the best.
Probably
bet for
our
the
best bet.
stealthy.
That's our most stealth is at that point.
With Lazarus, like 500 feet.
Yeah.
Else.
You're
The
sitting
problem
with
is
the
we
camp.
gotta check if they can detect magic too, because like technically if I go through and we're past, like we might be able to. I don't think that can be detected.
Not magically. But if there you have
Pass Without Trace has a rule about detecting it using magic, if I remember right.
Yeah, I mean it's less like invisibility. They'll just see that and be like,
Yeah, invisibility, they'd be like,
yeah. So
that's a
They
magic
can't be.
dude.
but
They
straight up stealth
can't
rolls.
be tracked except by magical means.
But that's tracked.
Yeah.
So
So other than that, it should.
something
be
like a
fine.
detect magic would see something hazy from like the alien.
yeah, but it's still
But-
like my
but-
stealth rolls would still be the biggest thing. Right?
There's the
which is
thing-
what we want.
If you're invisible, detect magic doesn't see you because that would totally defeat detect invisibility, which is a higher level spell.
What if we use? That's why I guess you can detect magic when we get there. Figure out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That-
I can.
that is
I
the
can,
difference.
as a detect magic person, I can see them detecting invisibility, but I can't see invisible people.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, that's the difference. Pass Without Trace you can arguably see with detect magic, but invisibility you can't.
Well, invisibility, if you're looking at the ground, you can see footprints.
Yeah, it doesn't
But
do
pass
that.
without trace plus invisibility leaves no trace.
Right.
Because then there's no footprints and your sound is like crazy muffled and
Does the pass without trace magic get displayed then?
yeah, if you layered the two,
Yeah.
you would still see Pass Without Trace because detect magic can see that, but detect magic cannot see invisibility.
But it would just be like a generalized area then for Pass Without Trace.
Yeah, you
as
couldn't
far as
see the
what you could
characters
see.
themselves.
No, obviously not. You basically see like a big smoke bomb cloud
right.
that's just kind of moving around.
And it would be suspicious, and you'd
It'd
know
be
that
super
within that
suspicious.
area there might be... Well, yeah, I guess in that area it's telling them there's something there, most likely.
At this moment, I'm going to go ahead and snap my fingers.
Okay.
Not tell anyone what I'm doing, but I'm going to snap Bird back into his pocket dimension, because at this point he should have completed his task.
Okay. So one thing with that, when you snap your fingers to bring Bird back to his pocket dimension, normally when you've done that, there's been that, like, you can almost feel the delay the further away he is. And there's kind of that, like, physical, like, snap back if he's been gone a long ways. Like, he, almost like the feeling like he constantly accelerates on his way back. So if it's been a while, he kind of hammers home. So you snap your fingers and you kind of sit there and, like, you have that vague awareness of your pocket dimension, and it's empty and it's empty. And like you guys keep riding for another, like, 3 or 4 minutes before you just, like, that entire thing, it's like an instant migraine as something just hammers into that dimension.
You are far away from all.
We just see you walking along, just
fall off.
snap your fingers randomly.
And then, like, 4 minutes later, he's just like, ah!
Oh
Dangerous
boy!
effects of
Was the
snapping
joke
fingers.
that bad?
Well, if the joke was this, and then I want to summon Bird from his pocket dimension.
So, like,
Oh gosh.
you snap your fingers and you summon Bird. I guess, where do you summon him? Like,
I'll
where do you
summon
get
him, like,
Bird?
on my shoulder, essentially.
So you summon him on your shoulder, and there's just kind of like, brrr, and like he is smoking, like practically on fire at this point. He's just kind of like, he's kind of doing the, like, wobbling from side to side. He's like, brrr, Bird doesn't feel good.
I'll, like, kind of, like, hold him and give him to Kenna and be like, can you do something with this? He's not feeling so good.
I feel like being held, like, super dramatically, Bird gets super dramatic, and he's just like, brrr, kill me.
Stay strong.
I'm sure Kenna would be very aware that Bird is, like, milking this now.
Probably.
Bird, it's not that big of a deal. I'll give him a little, cure wounds. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, roll the cure wounds. While you're doing that, though, where you're just like, come on, he, like, pops up, like, from laying down, like, pops up on your arm, and he just, like, looks at you, and he's like, Burke, it's because Bird's black, isn't it? Doesn't deserve healthcare.
Told you right. So much racism.
Except for the fact that I'm currently trying to heal you. So everything you just said is wrong.
After you almost died. I'm with you, Bird.
Bird definitely, like, raises the wing to you. Just like, Bird!
Fist bump.
11.
Okay. I feel like 11's a lot for Bird.
That's more than his max.
His health pool, like, 2 times over. So yeah, he just kind of, like, pops back to being good. He, like, his feathers are all shiny again, and he's just kind of like, struts back and forth on your arm for a second, and he goes, so what'd I miss?
What did we miss? What's going on at the island?
Oh, not much.
How's Arnold?
Bird, they know you're missing.
We're not missing.
Sorry, gonna be gone.
Oh, do they think we're missing now, or do they think that we're gone?
I put the people you wanted in charge.
Who did we want in charge, Bird?
And he's like, wait. He like, I feel like he, like, stretches that for, like, a minute. He's kind of like, then, like, telepathically to Nim. He's just like, Nim, correct me if I'm mistaken, but I was supposed to tell Arnold and his wife Ingrid and the, whatever that individual's name that was in charge of the militia group, that they were in charge, the 3 of them, right?
Yeah, that was right.
And he after he's done that, he, like, looks at Kenny and he's like, of course Bird remembers! It was Arnold, Ingrid, and the Maverick Man!
Perfect memory as usual.
And he, like, gives you the fist bump again. Just fist bumps this with the wing.
Alrighty then, well I'm glad you told the right people. How's Thump Thump? I miss him.
He's big, green, and mean.
He's not mean.
He's hit Bird twice.
Well,
When was the second time?
I may have been flying around. He's taller than everyone else. It's easy to run into him.
Is he blends in with the trees?
Trees are brown. That low.
Okay. Just trying to figure out the height you're at here, Bird.
Well, I mean, Thump Thump's pretty tall. He could be at, like, low-hanging branch level pretty easily.
Alright.
He does... Bird kind of, like, remembers, like, why he's here. And he's kind of like, so I assume you're going to send me to die, then?
Not exactly. We were gonna send you ahead to be a scout, like, you're really good at.
He's just telepathically to Nim. He's just like, really, Nim? This is exactly how all of these start.
And then telepathically, Nim's like, I put it at a solid 25% death chance for you.
Well, that is an improvement over the usual. All right, fine, I'll go.
I think last time was like a 99% chance.
That was that. I don't even know if there was a percentage involved. It's just like, Bird, you are going to die. Like, I am sorry.
Make your peace.
Make your peace with your whatever god you Fae things have.
My lady. She's my goddess too.
Alright, so I'll send him kind of
in that direction.
In the direction we've been traveling, and just tell him... Well, because at his flight speed... I'll do some Nim calculations, and I'll just tell him approximately how far it should be, and I'll show him the stone, so that he's got reference on what the other bigger stone should look like.
Okay. So, Bird's like, just kind of like, all right, here we go. And he like goes to take off, and he's kind of like, he flies, but it's like, you can tell he's a little janky at it. And, after trying for about a minute, he kind of lands on the ground and just kind of looks around a little bit, like he's a bit confused. You're like, well, that's different. Hang on. And he kind of like gives a like stronger launch off and just seems to be putting more effort into it. And then he seems to be able to fly properly, albeit definitely a little more unstable than usual, but he's staying up there and moving.
So is like the air thinner here or something?
You'd have to ask him.
Yeah. I'll tell telepathy.
Yeah, because he's still pretty close.
Yeah, I'll be like, is the air too thin to fly, Bird?
It's not so much that it's thinner, Nim. It just feels strange. Like it's like you're not really supposed to be able to move as easily here without being magical. It's odd. Don't bring your nonsense, your DBZ nonsense into this. But nevertheless, Bird seems confident that he can continue on.
All right, sounds good. And I'll
Hypertonic lion thing.
So I guess are you guys? So the plan was, are you still resting when you get there, or are you maybe not doing?
We want to like probably check it out first and see if there's a possibility of getting in.
Okay.
Is it dark now?
How long would you have been traveling? Oh, are you going to use the animals then?
Well, no one gave me an answer.
Well, I suppose that's a good thing to talk
as
about.
well. Right.
Yeah, I can do that in pass.
Okay, so why don't we use one... Yeah, we'll just use your one animals to just get that much further ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, because I mean, the traveling fast pace can get you like 30 miles, but I know moving on animals is supposed to be significantly faster than that.
I can look up the mount rules.
Yeah, I thought I had them on my little DM
I
thing
think they're
here.
right
But
at the end of... Oh, yeah, they should be right here.
I thought they would have been really close to the travel pace, but that just seems to be on foot, and I don't see
No, they're in
anything.
the... It's in the equipment section. Yeah, it's right here.
Yeah, if you're still thinking of getting somebody to build the wood ones, I would totally want that on it, because that's pretty important to have.
What?
The wood DM screen you were talking about a couple of weeks back.
Yeah, I'll talk to Terry about that at some point.
Please stand by. While he's looking that up, so refresh for me the game plan. When you're going to ride there, then you're going to try to take a look while it's still nighttime to see if there's any advantage that can be gleaned from working at
we
night.
should look at things with detect magic first and make sure there's no magical detection boundaries or anything before
Okay.
we approach.
That seems fair.
Any alarm spells hidden anywhere.
Okay, that sounds good. How close do you want to be able to get to this thing before you kind of want to stop traveling and start thinking about what you're going to do?
Probably an hour out or less.
Lasts like 30.
It will definitely be dark when you arrive, so it's not so much you'll be able to see it on the horizon. You're going to have to get pretty close to it to see it. Dis is really the only one that's going to be able to give you much of a visual on it at all.
Okay, so is it dark now, though? I'll need to
I think
cast dark
after we
vision.
watch for half an hour, it'd be dark. Right?
Yeah, it'd definitely be approaching that. After, what is that, an hour?
Well, the moment darkness sets, I cast dark vision.
Okay, that makes sense.
So for an animal, and this applies to us because we can force them to run this fast for an hour.
Yeah.
It's twice the usual distance of a fast pace.
Okay, so yeah, basically instead of covering 4 miles in the hour, you'd cover 8
Yes.
if you rode them hard. I think if you don't ride them hard, it's like 6.
Something like that.
Well,
But it
ride
says if you
hard.
can have fresh mounts every hour.
Yeah, then you can.
You can just force ride them like
I guess-
galloping.
Just like when Nim rides Kenna, ride him hard.
Because
Not
Lazarus
ride Kenna.
Yeah, he doesn't have the weight to ride Kenna hard.
Lazarus just prays his mount can follow the rest.
Ken, it's never had an issue so far.
I mean, giant goats. They're pretty big. And that is,
Lazarus
it's
can't
what
see.
you're used to. It is
It's
what
not
it
like
is.
just Lazarus can't see, so he's just...
Yeah, that's true. That's right. I keep forgetting that Lazarus doesn't have dark vision.
So then I guess we put Dis in front, as per usual at night. So once I summon my animals, I'll just tell them to follow Dis and his
Okay.
goat.
And Dis, you don't have like perfect. It's not like the hell sight. You just have dark vision up to, what is it, 60 feet or whatever?
120.
120 feet.
And
Supervision.
and I also, just so we don't have any like mistakes, tell Dis's goat to listen to what Dis says and follow his directions.
That sounds pretty legit.
Yeah.
We're gonna be the best combo. Tell the goat. In regular comments.
Yeah, I don't know if the goat provides any specific reaction to being told that. I remember, too, we had this discussion about whether or not Nim's bird could see in the dark, and I think, like, the stat block
We
said it
decided
couldn't, but, like, it's a raven.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I think we
it's pretty obvious.
outdid it,
Or was it a raven
decided.
or a crow? I think it was
It's a raven.
Raven.
It's a raven. I mean, I'm, like, 99% positive ravens can see in the dark. And if they can in real life, they should be able to. Bad job, evolution. Should up your game. Okay, so you guys will ride pretty hard for the hour, which luckily it does. Basically, riding them hard for an hour cuts you an hour, which is pretty good because you were already cutting 3. So reasonably, it's going to take you 8 hours instead of 9 to get there. And with that rough number in mind, you ride the mounts. You're moving along, you're heading that way. The mounts disappear after their hour, and you begin just moving as fast as you can on foot. I need a luck roll from everybody. When the mounts are gone, Lazarus, what are you doing to be able to see in the dark for running?
Nim, a little help.
I'll like sit on his shoulders and then I'll like use my heels to like press which way to go. Lean this way. Lean that way.
I think how Lazarus asks the wizard for help seeing in the dark with, I assume, the logical, like, give me a little light, please. And Nim's like, don't worry, I'll guide you.
I can also dark vision you.
I just don't want to admit light right now. So.
I mean, that's totally fair, but I know that's not what Lazarus had in mind.
Yeah, I can dark vision you as well. It'll bring me down to only having 4 level 1s and a level 2 left, though.
Y'all want me to see in the dark?
I think we need him to see in the
I
dark.
think, yeah.
Yeah. Can't lose.
Alright, we'll just do that then.
Okay, so dark vision cast on Lazarus. First problem solved.
So, this is what it's like.
Well,
Know what it feels like.
I mean, it's like half as well as Dis can see, right? Sometimes I feel like
it's so
somebody's
bright.
Yeah, Dis runs with like that super confidence at nighttime while everybody else is just kind of like, there's like those low-lying like roots and stuff that you only see just before you need to see them, and you're like, oh, and you jump over them and stuff like that. Especially because you're moving so fast. So, how was everybody's luck rolls?
I'm lucky.
I
Don't
think I
worry,
entirely
guys.
forgot. So I'm just...
Are you lucky?
That's
I'm also
okay.
lucky.
Are you lucky?
I'm not lucky.
Keep in mind. Oh, I was gonna say keep in mind everybody's got inspiration, but Lazarus doesn't. I'm sorry.
16.
Okay.
20.
12.
18.
Okay.
This is the
All right.
luckiest roll I think
Not-
we've ever had.
Not too bad. I think maybe we'll take our first break of the night right there before we realize what those numbers necessarily mean. So we'll take a quick break and we will be right back. Wow, what a cliffhanger! I wonder what's going to happen next time. Seriously, guys, thanks for joining us. Thanks for listening in. If you liked what you heard, share us with your friends. If you hated what you heard, share us with your enemies. Seriously, though, like, comment, subscribe. We'd love to hear from you, and we'll find out what happens to Doubles and Dragons next time.